Hi, I'm Gary Thome with HP Blades Group, and I'm here to talk to you about the latest addition to our new blades portfolio, the HP Proliant BL495C, the first blade designed and optimized for virtual machine environments. HP Blade System is the industry standard for bladed infrastructure, and it's really defines the way that blades should be built and managed, both for physical machine environments and also for virtual machine environments. But virtual machines produce some new challenges and some significant bottlenecks for server infrastructure. Things like memory capacity. When you put a bunch of virtual machines on a single server, you want a lot of memory on them. Second thing, I/O. With a lot of virtual machines, you want a lot of I/O capacity, and the hypervisor environments tend to want a lot of I/O connections as well. And then the third thing is when you put all this memory and all this I/O on a single server with all these virtual machines running, you tend to start taking an awful lot of power. And so power becomes a bottleneck and an inhibitor to deploying lots of servers in an infrastructure environment. With all these things in mind, we decided to go develop a new server designed and optimized for the virtualization environments. And with this, we came up with this new blade server, the BL495C. So here I've got it, the new Proliant BL495C. The first thing we did is we've gone from 8 DIMMs to 16 DIMMs. So that means we can go up to 128 gigabytes of memory on this server, which means you can put an awful lot of virtual machines on one server, and it reduces the total cost per virtual machine for your servers. The second cool thing that we did is we've gone to 10 gigabit NICs on the motherboard. So that means you get two 10 gigabit NICs on the motherboard, lots of I/O capacity and bandwidth, which is great for those virtual machine environments. For instance, if you want to do live migrations, such as VMware vMotion, you can do those very fast and moving those virtual machines from one server to another. And then the third cool thing we've done is that we've added support for solid-state disk drives. So solid-state disk drives, you can see, are very small, very lightweight, but also very low power. At just 1 watt each, a pair of them can give you up to 128 gigabytes of capacity in under 2 watts of total power. I mentioned the solid-state disk drives. We also have other ways you can boot as well. You can boot from an external SAN. You can boot from a storage blade that gives 6 additional drives to use for the server. Or you can boot from an internal integrated hypervisor. And we have integrated hypervisor options from all the key hypervisor vendors as well, which allows you to boot directly into hypervisor and get virtual machine environments up and running very quickly. You take all these capabilities and put it into the HP Blade system with our Virtual Connect technology, our Thermal Logic technology, and our Insight Control management environment and Insight Dynamics VSC management environments. And we have what we believe to be just the ideal infrastructure for building and managing virtualized environments. Now let me go ahead and show how this stacks up against the competition. So what I've got here is an IBM LS21 blade server. So like the Proliant BL495C, it also has AMD Opteron processors on it. But it's limited to only 8 DIMM sockets on it, which means you don't get as much memory on here, which means you can't put as many virtual machines on your server, which means that the cost per virtual machine is much higher. In fact, we've calculated that with the Proliant 495C, we can deliver virtual machine costs up to 45% lower cost per virtual machine compared to IBM. The second thing is they're still limited to 1 gigabit NICs, which means you don't get the I/O bandwidth that you get with the Proliant 495C. And now I'm holding the Dell M605 blade, also based on AMD Opteron processors, similar to the ones we have on the Proliant 495C. You notice it looks remarkably similar in terms of shape and size compared to the HP Blade system. But when you look inside, you see some significant differences. Once again, only 8 DIMM sockets instead of 16, which means here again you can't put as many virtual machines on the same server, which means your virtual machine cost gets higher. According to our calculations, we figure we can reduce the cost per virtual machine up to 26% with the HP Proliant 495C compared to the Dell server here. Second thing is they're still limited to 1 gigabit networking technology on the motherboard, which means you don't get all that bandwidth to run those virtual machines that you get with the Blade system products. And third, Dell has not yet announced any solid-state disk support yet, which means you can't take advantage of the low power offered by solid-state disk technology. So when you take all this together, we're obviously very excited about the Proliant 495C. It's really designed to eliminate the bottlenecks that virtual machine environments present for servers and for customers. We're real excited about the new Proliant 495C. We went out and just attacked all the major bottlenecks associated with virtualization. So we got that higher memory capacity, we got higher network I/O capacity, we got solid-state disk drives with the low power that they deliver. And compared to the competition, well, frankly, they just don't compare up because they don't have the capabilities and features that we deliver with the Proliant 495C. We're very excited about the 495C. We hope that you are too as well. If you'd like to learn more about them, you can go check out our newsroom at hp.com/go/blade system/news for all the latest news and information about our blades.